So first of all, I would like to welcome you all. Thank you so much for your time. And it's especially thankful to Major Ahmed-Kaisseh for his time and contribution. This is a great program. I will not take most of your time, more time, because Nancy will explain the circle of knowledge and will take over from here. But I really appreciate your commitment and coming and joining us. Thank you so much.
Yes, good evening. We're happy to have our first presentation, Circle of Knowledge for 2022 with Kaisseh, and he has a lot of information about Djibouti. I'm sorry, I keep pronouncing it wrong. And we're going to, let's see. I am the chairman of the program committee, so this is my first time hosting a Zoom meeting, so hopefully you can bear with me. We're going to have Sharon Blastic say a couple words, and then Joan and Ray Barrett, Kaisseh's sponsors, will introduce him. Thank you for joining us.
Well, good evening. This is Sharon. Let me add my welcome. Happy New Year, everyone. Hope your holidays were nice and that they were safe. Everyone stayed healthy. So thank you for being here tonight and spending just a little bit of time with us. This is our second of 4 circles of knowledge, which give an opportunity for our members and guests to learn about another country. And we're so appreciative of our officers from the Command and General Staff College that are willing to present to our members and guests about their country. So I think we're in for a treat tonight. After the presentation and after your questions, which you may post in the chat, or you may hold them if you would like until the end. Then I'm also going to just say a few words, reminders about the LAC passes to get you on post. So we'll talk just briefly about that at the end. For now, I'm going to turn it over to our sponsors, Ray and Joan Barrett, who will introduce our officer this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon and Nancy and Zahid. We're Joan and Ray Barrett, and we're honored to be the Kansas City sponsors for Major Ahmed-Kaisseh Daher Mohamed from Djibouti. You know, we've been sponsors with Kansas City People to People for 17 years, and I have to say that we truly hit the jackpot this year in sponsoring Kaisseh. He's a man of faith, integrity, patriotism, and professionalism. He also has a great sense of humor and a killer smile. The only difficult part of our 7 months with Kaisseh was in knowing just how much he missed his beautiful wife, Soredo, and his 3 amazing sons before they were able to get their visas and get here in late September. So Ray?
No, I know Kaisseh, Major Mohamed-Kaisseh. We'll share some details of his career and so forth with y'all. But he has an extensive list of experience in command and staff positions, and an amazing, quite frankly, I was amazed, an amazing set of professional education internationally in places like Ethiopia, Tanzania, France, Fort Benning, Georgia, here in the United States. But between the combination of his professional education, his performances, his command responsibilities, and so forth, we have a phenomenal speaker tonight that I am absolutely, I'm absolutely sure is going to go great places within his army and within his country. He's going to be a leader, I believe. He's going to be a leader in his country. So without any further ado, I give you our friend, Major Kaisseh.
If everyone would please press mute during the presentation, that would be helpful. I've also been told that if you take off video as well. It helps in the presentation. So you can experiment with that if you want. Okay, thank you.
Thank you first of all to my sponsor for this amazing award. Yes, I will try to not disappoint you and do correctly my presentation tonight. I would like to also, before this presentation, to thank the Greater Kansas City People to People for the invitation to the first Circle of Knowledge of 2022 via Zoom, and also presenting my country. It is a privilege and an honor for me tonight to present my country. My presentation is all unclassified and it's all from open source. So there is not anything that is forbidden to share it again, but you can use it, no problem. Let me share my screen to start my presentation. Everyone see? Sharon, do you see?
I do. It looks good.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah. So, as already tonight, I'm gonna conduct a Djibouti country brief. Is my country, very small country in the Horn of Africa, and I'm gonna introduce first my family. This is slide all about my family, my wonderful wife, Sarero, with my 3 kids, boy, Mohammed, Zakaria, and Ibrahim. This picture that you see on this slide is all taken from United States, and especially during the last break that we had the opportunity to visit so many places in United States. And my family enjoyed, and also, even though that the road was difficult, but we make it. I will start my presentation to ask you a question to challenge you a little bit your knowledge. It is, where is the Earth's lowest point located? I mean, where is the lowest point on the Earth? I know that most of you already know this answer, but other people are gonna think that it's Djibouti. Oh, actually, it's the Dead Sea. Yes, the Dead Sea located in Jordan and Israel. Wow. But there is not any relation with my country. Yes. The second deepest place is actually located in Djibouti. It's called Lac Assal in the Afar Depression. The Lac Assal is the bottom of the crater, and it's like 155 meters below the sea level, which is almost equivalent to 509 feet below the sea level. It's a very hot place, yes, but it's very beautiful to be there and to enjoy the salt and the sea over there. So let's back to our presentation. Tonight, I'm gonna use this outline for my presentation. I will start the introduction, then geography, history, population, economy, the current issue, yes. And lastly, I will end by talking a little bit about the international military base in Djibouti. Yes, there is a lot of military base in Djibouti, and I'm gonna explain who are they and why are they in Djibouti. In this slide, you see the Djiboutian flag, which is waving very nicely. And our motto is unity, equality, and peace. And the last thing that you see on the slide is our emblem. As I stated on the outline, I'm gonna start with geography. Geography, why? I think because geography is mean to my country, is very important. Because of the geographic location of my country, we have what is Djibouti. Djibouti is located on the east of Africa, called Horn of Africa, with 23,000 square meter, and also with the 314 kilometer of coastline. Djibouti is bordered on the south, on the north with Yemen, northeast with Eritrea, and south west with Ethiopia, and southeast with Somalia. We have in Djibouti 2 climate season. If you allow me to, if I allow myself to say that, the first one is the hot season, which start from May to September, almost 110 Fahrenheit. That's I think the average temperature on this period. Then we have cold. Yes, it's cold for us, but not cold for you maybe. It's between October and April, and average temperature is 16 Fahrenheit. We can, experience on this period of time very little rain, and most of the time we have a flash flooding. So what's make the Djibouti location strategic? Actually, what makes Djibouti location important is that is the Red Sea and the Indian Ocean, because Djibouti is located at the junction between the Red Sea that you see on this slide with the Indian Ocean. And from here, Red Sea, I'm going to show you this on this slide. Red Sea has 2 gates. The first one is the Canal Suez that you all know, and the second one is Bab el-Mandeb. Bab el-Mandeb is a strait located actually in Djibouti, and what's make Djibouti very important. Coming to this, Bab el-Mandeb is 19-kilometer wide passage, which you can have like 4.8 million barrels per day of oil and refined petroleum product flow. It's a very busy passage, and it's categorized as one of the world oil choke points. What's the choke point? The U.S. Energy Information Administration, AEA, defined the world oil choke point as a narrow channel along widely used global sea route. The choke point of the Strait of Bab-el-Mandeb, which is the Bab el-Mandeb located in Djibouti, is an important link between the Red Sea and the Indian Ocean, and also is controlling the access to the Canal Suez. That's what makes very important. To the way Djibouti is divided, Djibouti is divided on 6 different districts. From the north, we have Obok, Tajura, Dakhil, Arta, Ali Siriye, and the last one is Djibouti. Yes, is that Djibouti is also a district that the Djibouti city is located inside. It's kind of like Washington DC and Washington State, even though that the comparison is not worth it, it's due to the size. And here, the government are trying to develop a politic on the decentralizing. Actually, they formed a new minister, equivalent to Secretary of the US, like here, to facilitate and also to allow the region to take control and to facilitate the transition to the decentralization. Okay. For the history, I think because of the Djibouti location, as I was saying on the beginning, we have our history, and here you can see that the Egyptian was using Djibouti a place to send and receive the good, because of the proximity to the Indian Ocean. They tried to come here and to send their goods. And as a proof, we discover in Djibouti some fossils that have been discovered, and they belong to the ancient Egyptians. This slide, you have one of the ancient people dressing like this. Especially, they look like actually Egyptian, because they took their appearance, and this was the model of at that time. In the photo, on the lower photo, you have camels, we call caravan, and this was the major means transportation of the trade. For the modern history, in 1859, when the Canal Suez the construction was begun, and then it was opening in November 17 November in 1869. So when the Canal Suez was open, the French understood the importance of Djibouti, because they know that coming to Bab el-Mandeb in Djibouti, they will have the opportunity to control what's going on the Red Sea and going to the Canal Suez. So in 1862, they arrived from the north, and they reached a treatment with the Sultan of the Rahide, which was the chief of the tribe who were living on that region. And then in 1888, they established it as a French protectorate, meaning that they came here, they said that we're going to protect you, we have the means to protect you, and we're going to make a country over there. So they established what we have called it the French protectorate. Here we have some important date. In 1892, Djibouti city became capital of the French protectorate because of the railroad, because they constructed a railroad from Djibouti to Ethiopia. Ethiopia didn't have a sea because of the Italian with on the north of the Ethiopia, which is Eritrea. And because of this railroad, Djibouti became the capital city of the French protectorate. And in 1944, some of the Somalian battalion have departed from Djibouti to the European theater, and they participate the liberation of France. And also still now there is a memorandum for them and for the Somali battalion. Then after the Second World War, in 1946, Djibouti became the French territory. And then in 1966, General de Gaulle visited Djibouti. During his visit, he was expecting to be welcomed, but the people came outside, surprisingly with the placard, they hide, and then when he crossed the street, they show him, we want our independence. That's changed the mind of de Gaulle, and he a little bit changed the name of the country, and he named it as territory of the French territory of Anfar and Issa, which was the two majority people who live in Djibouti. And through difficult time and fight, and also so many people, so many lives have been lost to fight to gain the independence. The 27th June 1977, we finally get our independence. Yes, we are a young country. On this slide, we have some data about our population. It's normal, the country is very small, so the population is also very small, less than 1 million, and the population growth is around 6%. Women live longer than men in my country, 62/75. We spoke French as official, French and Arabic as official language, but also Somali and Anfar has a local languages. The majority of population is surrounding Djibouti because of the industrialization and also the commercial trade that is available for there. People are coming to Djibouti for this opportunity. But again, with the recent politic of decentralization, we hope that the coming year we will have some people moving to the districts. Here we have some picture of Djibouti city. Actually, the demographic, Djibouti is divided on three parts. The first majority is Isa people, who represent 65% of population. Isa people is a branch from the Somali people. And we have Anfar, who represent 35%. The Anfar people come from the Danakil, and they have some people living in Eritrea and Ethiopia and Djibouti. Others, it means I'm talking about Yemenis, Ethiopians, Somalian, Italian, and French. Because of the proximity to the Yemen, and also because of the recent civil war in Yemen, we have so many refugees who are living in Djibouti, and some of them have already get their citizenship. We have also some Ethiopians that came to Djibouti a long time ago, who live still in my country. Somalian is normal also. Italian and French because of the colonial history link between Djibouti and France. The religion, actually 95% of the people in Djibouti have a Islam faith, while we have 5% of Christian. In the 5% Christian, we also do have Catholics and also an Orthodox. Orthodox, why? Because of the Ethiopian community who are living in Djibouti, and in Ethiopia, the majority of people are Orthodox. Here you have some of the church and also mosque located in Djibouti. I show in this slide our traditional dress and dance. And basically, I took the first one is the Anfar traditional dance, while the second one is the Isa traditional dance. It's very physical, but it's beautiful time. For the food, I'm sorry that if there is some vegan people on this presentation, but traditionally we use the small goat meat with rice and what I soup called farfah, and the bread that we make called gambo. But again, because of the diversity, the other population that we have, Ethiopian, Somalian, and Arab Yemeni from Yemen, some of the popular food are shown in this slide. In the right bottom, you will actually recognize the injera. The middle, you have the fish, grilled fish coming from Yemen. And the top one is the gambo with what we call sambusa. On this slide, I'm gonna present to you the role of women in my country and also in my society. They are very active. Women are very active actually in Djibouti. They represent 25% on the parliament and also on the government. As a proof, as evidence, we have as a mayor, a woman in Djibouti capital city. And also represented about the salarial distribution between the equality between women in Djibouti. Salary doesn't go by gender, but it goes by function. So it doesn't matter who you are paid because of what you are doing. And I think this is something that maybe some countries are still struggling. So you women, what I can say that are well represented in my country. Okay, economy actually, our economy mainly based on the service, especially from the port. We have a big port because of the location, actually the location of the country. And we are also providing service to Ethiopia and also some further countries like Rwanda. The agriculture and the industry represent minor, but lastly, also we have some income that we gain from the rent that Djibouti gain from the military bases in the Djiboutian territory. Here you have some information on the economy. As I say, it's based on the service, 80% of the GDP, and we have a 3 billion GDP, and it's very small because of the population. And one of the things that I would like to also to share with you is that our franc, the currency of our money is $1 is equal to 177.5 Djibouti franc. And this is stable because of some gold deposit that we make it in New York. And if the dollar go up, we go up. If the dollar go down, we go down. So whenever you want to change the dollar in Djiboutian currency, the rate is fixed. Mainly we trade on high skin that we import from Ethiopia, and then we export to Saudi Arabia and also to the Middle East. And most of our importation is coming from Ethiopia, that we import food, beverage, transport equipment, chemical, and even though the chemical equipment that transit in our country, because they have the perfect industrial to change it, so we import from them. Now I'll move to the political system in my country. Actually, our president have the 3 power on his possession: the executive, legislative, and judicial, which is different from the United States. Apparently, there is not here. We don't have what you call the check and balance. Here, the president has the executive and legislative and judicial power. And the executive, we have the prime minister, which has his council of ministers. In legislative, we have the National Assembly, 65 seats, and it's 5-year term. The judicial is the Supreme Court with 6-year term. And actually, the presidential term is now 5 years. Moving to the military organization, the the commander-in-chief is the president. After that, we have the Minister of Defense, which is the equivalent of Secretary of Defense here in the United States. Then we have the Chief of Staff, Deputy Chief of Staff, and Assistant Chief of Staff that led the Army Command, Air Force Command, Marine Command, and Republican Guard Command. The last one, the Republican Command, are more focusing on the president protection. On this slide, I represented one of my platoon, the unit that I'm commanding. This is a PTL-02 tank destroyer that we bought from China. Is a nice gun and is equivalent to the American Army Striker. This is a French IML-19 that also I'm using in my unit. Is more commonly used in Africa. Now we'll start to talk about the current issue that my country is facing. I think Horn of Africa is well known on the instability. We have Yemen, the civil war, and from Yemen, Djibouti is hosting maybe 1,500,000 refugees, which is much greater and bigger than the Djibouti population. We have the border issue with Eritrea and the threat over in Somalia, which is from Al-Shabaab. You know, there is a civil war since in 1990 in Somalia, even though there is not civil war, but Al-Shabaab has conducting several action over there. For them, Djibouti is a nice place to conduct action against United States or other European country. For them, they say that they are accusing actually my president and our people to host what they call their enemy. So they promise, the chief of Al-Shabaab already promised that we will conduct some action in Djibouti. So we are aware of this threat, and we are really fighting and also trying to prevent Al-Shabaab to conduct action in Djibouti, so that we participate in the Somalia peacekeeping mission. We have a deployment, we deploy force over there to fight with them. The last thing is the Tigray war, the ongoing Tigray war in Ethiopia. We already heard about that. Ethiopia is very important for our economy. I think mainly our service, our first client is the Ethiopian, but also we import the food and everything from Ethiopia. So if Ethiopia has a problem, Djibouti will also have a problem. So how are we going to overcome these things? We have friends, and Djibouti hosts so many, powerful country on his territory. We have the France, which is our colonial, due to our colonial history. We have Italian and Japan, who came to Djibouti to provide, to fight against the piracy and over the Red Sea. We have the United States also, who came here to fight the terrorism, and also China. Is weird because you will not find another place that you will see China and United States based on the same country, divided by the small portion. But why these countries are so interesting in Djibouti? Most of the time, most of the reason I already explaining because of the Djibouti strategic location. But I will show you a small clip, video that will explain properly.
In early 2016, China began construction on its first major overseas military base. Perhaps surprisingly, the location was Djibouti, a tiny nation on the Horn of Africa. Although the move was somewhat unexpected, it wasn't unprecedented, as a number of world powers, including the United States, France, and Japan, already have outposts in the country. So of all places, why Djibouti? Well, Djibouti is prime real estate. The country is in close proximity to hotbeds in Africa and the Middle East, including Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen. That means security forces in Djibouti are just minutes away from a number of conflict zones. In 2012, U.S. Navy SEALs stationed in Djibouti rescued 2 aid workers in Somalia, a mission experts say would have been close to impossible had they been stationed elsewhere. The U.S.'s military base in Djibouti, Camp Lemonnier, is crucial to maintaining its interests in the Middle East, including the war on terror in Syria and Iraq. In 2013, it was estimated that Camp Lemonnier deploys and lands up to 16 drones to the region each day. Djibouti is also convenient to the Suez Canal, which is one of the world's busiest and most valuable shipping routes. With nearly 1 billion tons of goods passing through every year, the waterway is a target for pirates, most of whom come from neighboring Somalia. This puts Djibouti at the center of the international effort to protect security in the region. On top of this, Djibouti is a relatively peaceful country, and their leaders are very welcoming to foreign military.
So, without me saying, this was my presentation because the location that my country is located, we are what we are, and also diverse people, and we know that we are not as a perfect that we must be, but we are on the way of improving our life and our education, and we hope maybe for the coming years that so many things will change in my country, especially when the new generation will take power, and we will ensure that that will develop our country and to represent it and to put it the way that he does, the place that he deserves. Thank you for listening me, and also again to offer me this opportunity to present my country to you, all you. If you have a question, please let me. You are welcome. Thank you very much.
Hey, Casey, this is Ray Barrett. As you very eloquently articulated, Djibouti is at one of the 7 most important maritime choke points in the world.
Yes.
And as the video talked about, and as you highlighted, over $1 billion dollars worth, or tons, whatever, flows through the Bab al-Mandab. So that is, I mean, that's really critical. I mean, that is, you are at a very, very critical point. For most Americans, the fact that there is a Chinese naval base right there is would be disconcerting. Would cause some. Well, it would cause some concerns. I mean, it would not be in times of tension. It would not be hard to imagine the Chinese putting a blockade across that strategic maritime passage. How did that come about, that Djibouti allowed them to put the naval base there? And what is the strategic thinking about allowing it?
Well, I think the easiest way to answer this question is that money. So I think allowing them to get a base in Djibouti, allow Djibouti to get a rental money, which is 100 million at the time, if I'm not mistaken. And this allow the country to boost its economy. But I understood your concern about their presence over there. But we have also the presence of the United States Army Force in Djibouti, others, Japan, France. So if all of them are here, so why also deny another country to have their own base over there? But the way that they explain that we are coming in Djibouti is they say that, first of all, this is what they call the Road and Silk Initiative. They are saying that actually they are defending their interests over the region, and this base is a support base for the China citizens who are working across the African continent and also to the Asian continent. So if there is a problem, they may intervene from this base to provide support, or provide support, and also to provide repatriation from a hot spot place like Ethiopia, actually, and also some country in Africa. That's the official explanation that they give. But I understand that they may have some others hiding strategic thinking, or also desired goal that they want. But let me show you that having other countries like America and also France and Japan, maybe this will deter any further action, the negative further action of Chinese over there.
Assalamu alaikum, my brother.
Major, I have a question. Thank you so much for your very detailed introduction of Djibouti. Djibouti is no doubt a very important country. As Ray mentioned, there are very powerful countries based there. My question is this, that Djibouti invested a lot of money on the port, so the GDP can grow. So it's true that from 1914 to 2019, the GDP went up to 6.5 or 7%. But on the other hand, for last 2 years, not only GDP is going down, but China is giving a lot of money as a loan. So right now, This year, I think your public debt risen to 70% of GDP. That scares United States because Chinese are putting a lot of money. Like on other words, I can say that China right now largely owns Djibouti. Beijing could, with one simple call, compel President Ismail Omar to curtail American operations. If not, expel the Americans' presence entirely. Do you think US already aware about this situation? Because US is currently thinking to move to Somaliland because Somaliland, there probably you know the Berbera airport. That's a big attraction. Berbera airport, NASA is considering to use that airport to spaceship landings. And that airport is much larger and bigger runways than Djibouti. So America is also thinking that, okay, if we don't act quickly, then China might get there and take over the control of Berbera. And if they do that, then it will be a disaster for US in that big horn of Africa. So what do you think in this whole scenario that where Djibouti can stand right now, whether they let America go or there is other options?
Thank you very much for your question, sir. First, let me answer about the comparison between Djibouti and Berbera. As you may see on the map, I think Berbera is far away from the strait, from the Bab el-Mandeb. But Djibouti is much closer to the Bab el-Mandeb. So Djibouti is a position that you can control easily what's going over there through this 19-kilometer passage strait. That's one thing. The second thing is about the GBD. You are right. The first 20 years, the port of Djibouti port was run by Dubai World Port. And since in almost now like 4 years, due to some misunderstanding between the government of Djibouti and Dubai World Port, due to also the lackness that they didn't achieve some of the promise that they give to the government, especially for developing the port capability. So they revoked this treatment and they took they took over the port. And what's make Djibouti having a serial concurrent as Dubai World. And Dubai World went to Berbera to attract the Ethiopian government, which is the number one importer or client of the Djiboutian port, to use the Berbera port. But the problem over there is the security, because the actual Somaliland force cannot give the insurance that they will secure all the goods traveling across their country, and also because of the current government in Somalia, which is denying from other country to get in relation with the Somaliland government. So that's one thing. I understand about your concern that China may took Djibouti as all the country, and also maybe as you are thinking that Djibouti is almost taken by China. This politics have been highlighted lastly, because when we saw in Sri Lanka, I think so, if I'm not mistaking the country, that when the government of Sri Lanka didn't get the ability to pay the rent, the money that the China contributed, China took it the port. So in order to avoid the same thing happening in Djibouti, I think the United States and France reached agreement with Djibouti to pay back the debt, especially the China, and also at the same time to deny China to take control of the port. That's one thing. The second thing is that when China heard that some other people are saying that China are doing bad thing by taking property of some property of the country, they also alleged their debts over the country by saying that also we're gonna raise like 25% of the debt, something like that. But let me assure you that China is not on the point now to take control of the port because of the recent reaction of United States and also France and Djibouti to deny further on if China want to take control of this port.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir. Yes, Mr. Wasim Khan.
Assalamu alaikum, my brother.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Number one, I commend you for your presentation.
Thank you very much.
I am originally from Kenya, but I have lived here longer, and a lot of people on this call, the questions have been a little bit difficult, and I believe to come to your rescue, not that you need me to come to your rescue. China has played a role for decades. And we as Americans, because I am dual citizen, have pretended that we don't see China doing what they're doing because the interest was not there. Now that America has woken up, only to understand that China has literally taken the whole continent of Africa. Because I work with solar, I work with railroad, and I work with food security. Right now, China is leading in when it comes. So one thing, just for the viewers, not want to take away the show, is China is not interested in the culture. They are interested in business and what they can take. America wants to come and tell you, we will give you money, but human rights, women empowerment, education, all that China doesn't do. So maybe I am just, because I'm from Africa, and I am really scared that we have lost the port of Uganda, we have lost the port of Kenya, and this is continuously happening because they are giving us the money, we are taking the money, they are taking the contracts, they are bringing now prisoners to build the infrastructures, and yet the African Union and the United States are sitting on the side and eating popcorn. Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think you completely right. China came to Djibouti like almost the presence can be estimated maybe 10 or 15 years. So in this period, they contributed many things in Djibouti as a construction of infrastructure, especially the modernization of the railroad, the modernization of the port, some highways, and also for the communication. And this was something impossible to reach or to get from France, which is our historical friend or our historical fathers, if I can say that. And even there is another also, historical things that when China constructed the base in Djibouti, that's when the time that the United States start build a true base. Because before there was kind of like remotable bases that can be remotable whenever they want, they can go without any leaving anything behind. But now the Camp Lemonnier, which is the American base in Djibouti, is kind of like a camp in the United States, so which is very amazing. And you can find other countries working over there. But yes, the problem that I can only say something bad on my country because we are not taking advantage of our position. Sooner or later, as Mr. Zahid say, this country, powerful country, will have another interest, so they may change their point of view of this location. But we have the opportunity to become like a Singapore, but we are far away from that road. But I can blame our people to not taking advantage, and this is you can know easily what happened in Afghanistan, that the Afghanistan government didn't take advantage when the American was there, and as soon as they left, they also hand over the country to the Taliban. So what I'm saying is that we have to take advantage of the situation and develop our country and reach a position that we can be proud of ourselves.
I have a question, or I guess two questions. What do Djibouti citizens, what is their impression or their feelings toward the refugees? And then secondly, just kind of what do people, Djiboutis, enjoy doing in their free time, or what sort of hobbies do they like?
Okay, for the first question, I think Djibouti they are welcoming, they are very hospitable people, because most of the population in Djibouti came from the neighbors country, from Somalia, Ethiopia, and Yemen. So if some people are coming from Ethiopia, they have some other people living in Djibouti, so that they will welcome him. And Yemenite were the majority of refugee in Djibouti because of the common religion. I think they don't have any problem, and also see that even some Djiboutian girl and men are trying to contract as taking espouse or exposed to marry the refugee, and refugee are getting also citizen over there, even though that most of them are waiting to go abroad, like a United States or Europe. For the hobby thing, I think it's different for for women and men. I think for women, more they are taking care of the family. They are the mother of the family, and which is traditionally, and they are taking what's going with their kids. But the problem with the men is that something that I can call flair, which is a pandemic for my case, is that there is what we call cat. Maybe you don't know, chat. This is something kind of not powerful drug that people are chewing during the afternoon after the work, which is giving nothing, just consuming money. So, but with the new generation now, I think we are enjoying with the family, because we have some beautiful seas, and also we have also a beautiful submarines that we can visit, and also we can enjoy. But things are getting better than before. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Major Ahmed, I have another question. We talked about strategy, location, but there is another scary point about Djibouti, is that, as you mentioned, that Djibouti is the second lowest point in the world. But the problem Djibouti is facing is the water. Right now, you have only 4.5 inch average of rain per year. 4.5 inch, I don't know how you guys can survive in that much rain. So is there anything? Last month, I think there was American forces who were helping to put some new water lines in a town. I forgot the name of the town, but they were helping there. So the main thing Djibouti should be doing right now about the water resources. I don't know how they will do it, but do you think, are there any plans for that?
Yeah, and I'm gonna say again, thanks to China. So there is a plan. The plan is to desalinize the sea. We have a saline powered supply, and in Djibouti that they already started to construct it. Maybe after 2 or 3 years, it will be functional, and so we will have a full provision of water by desalinizing the sea water. But actually, we are exporting again. Importing from Ethiopia the water. But due to the recent events that happened in Ethiopia, stop the flow of the water coming from the country. That's why we struggle a little bit. But now it's on the right back, and we are receiving water from Ethiopia. And hopefully, maybe after 2 years, we will achieve autosufficiency by using the sea water.
Casey, this is Ray. Speak a little bit more about the strategic impact to Djibouti, about the I don't know, maybe the civil war between Ethiopia and Tigray, and the importance and the impact of that, not just on, well, first on Djibouti, but on the international scene.
Yeah, of course, sir. Thank you. I think, first of all, let me tell you that Djibouti always favorized that a good relation with Ethiopia. As I say, Ethiopia is very vital for our economy and also for our life. So having a good relationship with them is the priority number one of our government. So as Djibouti had a good relation with the previous government, which is the Tigray government, and the actual one, it was the perfect mediator that we can use it to mediate between the Tigray and the Ethiopian government. And there is also another thing that there is at some moment of this civil war, even United States request from Djibouti to use Djibouti as a base to launch maybe some attacks or some, I will not say attacks, but some operation from Djibouti to help the situation over there. But due to the relationship between the two countries, Djibouti denied this. That's why United States went back to Sudan. But now I think things are getting good. And also, I will say that Djibouti also are playing a good role on that. And Mr. Prime Minister Abiy have recently released some many politicians retaining. And he's actually, he opened a canal also, he accept to discuss with the rebel and to seize this ongoing situation. The other thing that Djibouti is also playing a role is that the conflict, or I would say the situation between Ethiopia and Egypt. As you all know, Ethiopia constructed what they call the Grand Renaissance Dam, which will block some of the amount of water, the Grand Renaissance Dam. So he will block the amount of water flowing from Ethiopia to the Nile. So it will reduce the Nile volume of water. So due to this issue, the president of Egypt went 3 months or 4 months, something like that, to Djibouti to discuss the Djibouti role on that. And actually, the President Gale also is trying to discuss the situation with the Prime Minister Abiy, and I think it's on good way, and hopefully it will end on a good term. The other thing is that Djibouti also trying to avoid, to provide help for the Somalian government by being a good advocate on the United Nations Council, by keeping the Somalian peacekeeping mission there. So Djibouti was the first one who said that we must secure or must go help the Somalian government, the Somalian people, and send troops over there. So I think it's going well, but what Djibouti is not showing a good face is about maybe some internal problem that we have actually going on, which is, as you all know, we have our president since 20 years over there. This is showing some negative aspect to the other country, but I think so that maybe this was his last term, and maybe coming years we will have a new son.
I just want to thank you for the great presentation, and thank you for your service, to your country and to the world to help keep us all safe. And it's greatly appreciated. I have a comment and then a question. Comments regarding China, just, from my knowledge, one of the biggest focuses for China is, they're building infrastructure for many of the countries on the African continent, but their main focus is raw materials. That's what they're after, besides a few strategic locations, because they're thinking long term, and that's their main goal from that they're after, because raw materials are limited. The question I have for you is, what are your goals? What are some of your goals going forward in the military and personal goals?
Personal goals?
Yeah, and personal, just.
Yeah, I think personal goals, first one, the immediate personal goal is to finish successfully the GCSE to graduate. And yeah, I think I already discussed, I think, with my sponsors, Ray and Joan Barrett, about that my goal is to help my country. I had the opportunity to live abroad because my wife and my kids are dual citizen. They are Swedish nationality. I have the opportunity to join them and to live over there, but I stay to maybe to reach a position one day that I can help my country. So I'm on the way of that, thanks to God, and I'm on a good way. And hopefully, maybe if the God allow me, if I had the opportunity to reach a good position that I can be a decision maker, and maybe first of thing change the military, Djiboutian military, the way they're living, and also the way that we are. I can, when I came, excuse me for this, when I came here and I studied the history, especially the military history, and now the U.S. military and others military, I understood that my country is left very far behind. So first of all is to help my militaries, and also by using the military, trying also to help the country if everything's go well, and if also thanks to Allah allow me to do this one. So all this thing that is positive. If I will not have this opportunity, I will secondary, which is also my first goal, that is to prepare the next generation to teach what I got from United States and from my experience. And maybe if I didn't get my objective, maybe I will get this objective by providing help or developing other leaders who can achieve this objective. That's my goal. Yes, and I will hope to achieve this sooner or later. Thank you.
You'll do great. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Casey, this is Ray again. We love you, and you've done a phenomenal job this evening.
Oh my God, thank you.
You will go far in your country, I am sure. And you're just a beautiful person, and I think that Djibouti will be in good hands if you're able to get into a position that you suggest. And I hope you succeed in that. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Ray. And I would like to apologize for my French accent, because I know the English is actually my fourth language. This was very difficult. So I understand that, I can understand that maybe some of you misunderstood my word, or maybe didn't miss some of things that I say. I can send you my presentation so you can read and also explore. And if you have further questions, you can contact me, please.
Thank you. No
Thank you
apologies
so much.
necessary.
Yes. Thank you so much, Major Ahmed-Kaisseh Daher Mohamed. It's our tradition that after the presentation, we give refreshment to our participants and guests, but due to this Zoom meeting, we can save that money, but we have this tradition also to present a certificate of appreciation. You have done a wonderful job presenting your country. There were some difficult questions, but you gave the answer very smoothly. And I know that these all answers are your personal point of view. And those are not like official statement. But these were very knowledgeable and very straightforward. And I appreciate your time and your input. And we have learned a lot from, and we are so lucky that we have officers like you in Kansas City who can update us with the latest information from around the world. And we learned a lot from you guys. And thank you so much for your being here and be part of our families. And here is the, as you can see on the screen, is your certificate, and I will give it to you, the original, whenever, I will hand it over to administration at CGSC. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for all the participants for your attendance. And it's great that you are here and ask questions. And that's the main cause of the main reason of this program, to spread the knowledge among the Kansas City people and other states. I mean, we have some people from other states too, which is great. Thank you so much. So I will hand it over back to Nancy and Sharon. Thank you so much again.
Yes, I want to join in thanks as well. I don't know how we could have had a better presenter. So much information, and really appreciate you taking time from your studies and your family to help us understand more about the world. We do have another presentation, or two more presentations coming up. And we have the officer with us, or he has been with us, Captain Letty from Togo. And he will present, as you can see on your screen, February 27th at 2 p.m. That's a Sunday. So we will look forward to that. And we'll also have a presentation March 27th, which is a Sunday at 2 p.m. And we are soliciting an officer to present that one, but I don't think we'll have any difficulty doing that. So if you have, if you are sponsoring an officer and want to encourage them to volunteer for that, that would be great. I'm going to let Sharon kind of close up with some information about the LAC. Thank you so much for participating. We had a great crowd.
Thanks, Nancy. And yeah, let me add my thanks. Excellent presentation, sir. We really appreciate it. And I agree with Ray. You're going to go far in your military, and you are a great asset to your country. Thank you. Just a couple of reminders. We have our LAC process this year. The form is really the same, similar form to what you're used to, but the process is a little bit different. We are required this year to submit all LAC applications for all of our sponsors that need access to the base no later than the end of January. So we're asking all of our sponsors to submit them to Pat or myself by January 21st. And then we've gotten really, I want to thank for those of you that have already submitted them. We've gotten a really nice response so far. You should have received an email from me. If you hadn't submitted yet, you would have received an email from me, I think January 3rd, the first Monday in January, asking you to fill it out and with the instructions. So a lot of people have sent their LAC apps already. If you have not done so, I think January 21st is the following Friday. So you'd have the rest of this week and then next week. But if you're like me, don't wait, because if you wait, then you'll forget about it. So go ahead and get them submitted. And then the fort processes them the month of February. That's our understanding. We're submitting them in bigger batches to the fort, and then they'll start in January, and then they'll start in February, and then sometime in February, we will hear from them on the approvals, and then we will notify everyone when it's time for you to pick up your LAC. When we have notified you, please check to make sure systems are functioning at the Visitor Control Center. For those of us that have to drive quite a ways, we've had at times a few frustrated sponsors because they drive an hour to get there and only to find out maybe the machine is broken. So, so we recommend calling the Visitor Control Center prior to traveling there to pick up your pass once we've notified you that it's ready to pick up. You have 30 days to pick up the pass after it's been approved. So if it gets approved February 20th, let's say, you have until March 20th to pick it up. And sometimes, they don't wait all the way until the 30th day. So again, once you're notified, try to get up there as soon as possible to pick up your passes so that it doesn't get destroyed. If it does, you have to start the process over, and they allow 3 times and then they don't allow a pass. So we highly encourage people to take care of it as soon as you're notified. Any questions on the LAC application process? Okay, so this is just the last slide I have is just a reminder of how to stay connected with the chapter. We have a website, we have a Facebook page, and then we send out email blasts, and we use MailChimp as our email blast tool, and they come, kind of depends on what's going on. We've sent, I think, 3 of them in the last 30 to 45 days because we wanted to make sure we promoted this event and also let people know about the LAC process. So you've probably gotten more than every 2 to 3 weeks here in the last part of the year. But that's usually, every so often we'll send a MailChimp out to inform our members of an event or some important information. Does anyone have other comments or questions?
Well, I have the last comment. I would like everybody to give a big applause to Nancy for organizing this event. She put a lot of hours and times and efforts to organizing this, and I really appreciate. She is doing a wonderful job as a program vice chair. So give a big applause to Nancy.
Yeah, stop
Thank
sharing
you.
the screen so we can see everyone, please.
Oh, stop sharing. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for it's been a great audience too, as well as presentation. And we look forward to Captain Letty's presentation next month. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank
Good night.
you.
Thank you,
Thank you
everyone.
so much.